Now the Muscle Up user players would like to proudly present a Nightmare Night special of a Nightmare Night musical, Little Sweet Shop of Horrors by Penstroke. Please enjoy as you listen to the rambunctious melodies as presented by our lovely professional, semi-professional players. Thank you. Little Sugar Shop of Horrors by Penstroke. Chapter 1, Starbucks and a Plant. On a day of summer, and the year after Discord's fall, the equestrian race suddenly encountered a threat to its very existence, or at least the existence of its fleets. And this terrifying enemy surfaced, as such enemies often do, in the seemingly most innocent and unlikely places.
No, ma'am, Flower. I couldn't possibly have another carrot tart.
Pinkie Pie turned over in her bed, snuggling into the warm blanket as the lingering images of her dream faded from her mind. It had been a wonderful dream, with all of her friends meeting the four inanimate objects she once pretended were her friends. Neil had a huge party, and Rainbow Dash even lost a bet and had to kiss Rocky. It was something made even more hilarious because Rainbow didn't know where to kiss him. The dream, however, was over, and a new day was calling to Pinkie Pie. She cracked over her blue eyes. The happiness in those blue eyes mirrored the glee-filled smile on her face. Out her window, she could see birds chirping and a bright, wonderfully blue sky. Such an inviting sight. She couldn't keep herself from bounding out of bed and throwing open the window.
Oh, this is gonna be such an amazing day!
Pinkie Pie cheered to herself. Threw out her hose, as she was going to greet the day with a big hug. Then she set her hose onto the windowsill and looked down across the town. She could see Rainbow Dash in the distance, bucking a few fine clouds from the sky. Down below, streets of Ponyville were bustling. In fact, it seemed busier than usual. Everybody was standing in a line. Pinkie Pie leaned out to the window, her curiosity ignited by Pony's blow.
Ooh, what's going on? Why is everybody standing in line? Are we trying to have the biggest game of leapfrog? Are we trying to see how many ponies it takes to stretch across the weekend? Oh, are we having a line dance?
At that thought, Pinkie Pie disappeared back inside her room, rummaged through her closet, and a few moments later leapt straight out of her window and onto the roof of Sugarcube Corner. Her colored mane was squished beneath the rim of a crowd pony hat, as blue as her eyes. She also wore a quartet of matching cowboy bones. Ready for the line dance, Pinkie Pie galloped down the roof of Sugarcube Corner and leapt onto the street below. She went right up to the line of ponies, grabbing the nearest one and seeking at the top of her lungs.
Oh, swing your partner round and round, right hook up and left hook down. Meet your honey and spit your stuff. Keep on dancing till you had enough.
Pinkie Pie! Pinkie Pie just kept on dancing. Eyes closed tight, and a wide grin on her face as she spun, turned, and dozzy-duddled her partner.
Now, circle 8 to get on straight. We'll go on east on the westbound freight. Turn your corner like a swinging gate, and don't be tripping on that street.
Pinkie Pie!
Go right and then left to let you know it's okay, does you know? It may be the last time. Oh, but no, don't you worry. Go with the flow.
Pinkie Pie!
Now you step up to strike the ground. Now you spin round and round. Keep on spinning till you fall. Cause we're here to have a ball.
Pinkie Pie! The loud shout broke Pinkie out of her dance, and turned to look at her partner. It was only at this moment she realized who she had been two-stepping with.
Hi, Mary. Wait, are you here for the line dance?
Rarity pulled herself out of Pinkie Pie's grip and retook her place in line. Hello, Pinkie Pie. And no, I'm not here for a line dance. I'm waiting in line for some breakfast.
Wow, is that what this line's for?
Pinkie Pie asked. She looked down at the rows of ponies, which reached from one end of the block to the other. Yes, that is what this line is for, Rarity asserted her. It is not a line for line dancing.
Well, that's okay. We can all line dance some other time. Still, if all these ponies are in line for breakfast, Mr. and Mrs. Cake must be so excited. But they never had this many customers in the morning before. Oh, I better get to the kitchen. We're going to need a lot more cheese to feed all these hungry ponies.
But Rarity tried to call out. Pinkie Pie, however, was already gone. On a single firm bounce, she got back up onto the roof of Sugarcube Corner. She then dashed inside, put her bright blue cow pony hat and boots away, ran downstairs to the kitchen and got straight to work. She got out everything she would need for one of the busiest mornings Sugarcube Corner had ever seen. Pots, pans, and gradients were all taking out of the cupboards at record speed, with a comparable level of noise. The commotion quickly drew Mrs. Cake to the bakery kitchen. "Oh, Miss Pinkie Pie, what are you doing?" Mrs. Cake asked. She stepped back in time just to avoid getting tackled by Pinkie Pie, who darted with a wire whisk procured from a nearby drawer. Pinkie Pie looked up from the bread she was mixing.
"Morning, Mr. Cake! I was just making a bunch of stuff for all the ponies who are lying outside. We don't nearly have enough cinnamon rolls or muffins or dances, so he told every pony to be patient. Such super delicious treats are coming right up."
Mrs. Cake stepped over behind Pinkie Pie, using a hoof to stop the rush pastry making. "Oh, Pinkie Pie, dear, that line outside isn't for us." Pinkie Pie met this comment with a giggle.
"Oh, Mrs. Cake, you really need to practice your tucks. Of course that line outside is for us. The ponies outside are lined up waiting for breakfast. Rarity said so, and we're the only shop nearby that sells anything for breakfast. The only place nearby is Hort's Cafe, and that's 5 blocks away. Ponies wouldn't be lined up all the way over there if they weren't waiting to get into Hort's Cafe. So,"
Pinkie Pie continued. She used the wire whisk to mix into the ingredients she had placed in a bowl.
"they have to be lined up for us, since there isn't any other bakery nearby. Besides, where else in Ponyville would ponies get muffins and danishes and scones and bagels? Oh, that reminds me. I found this new bagel recipe I wanted to try. Those things are so jam-packed and heavy, but this one recipe says it'll make a really light and fluffy bagel. Doesn't that sound good?"
"Well, yes, it does, dear," Mrs. Cake said. "But I guess it'll be easiest just to show you."
"Show me what?"
Pinkie Pie asked. Mrs. Cake waited to hope for a reply, leading Pinkie Pie out of the kitchen and into the front room. There, they were joined by Mr. Cake, and together the 3 ponies stepped out into the shop and began following Lion Street. They rounded a nearby corner and saw the line was going to a shop about a half a block away from Sugarcube Corner. Pinkie Pie looked up and down in line amazement.
"Wow, now this is crazy. I mean, not only did Rarity lie to me, but all these ponies had their clocks break this morning."
"Clocks?" Mr. Cake asked.
"Well, yeah, they're all standing in line for Mr. Clockwork's clock shop."
"Pinkie, Mr. Clockwork moved his shop last month," Mrs. Cake reminded her. "You two may congratulations on moving into the larger shop party." After a momentary pause, Pinkie Pie energetically bounced.
"Oh yeah, that was a fun party. There was a delicious cake, it was in the shape of a cuckoo clock, and every section of the clock's face read party time. Oh, I wish I had a clock like that. There could be party time all the time."
Pinkie Pie's energy diminished as thought crossed her mind.
Wait, if Mr. Clockwork moved his shop, then what are all these ponies standing in line for?
The trio reached the front door of the new shop at that moment and stepped inside. Their ears were assaulted by many sounds. There were ponies chatting, ponies shouting out customers' orders, steam being vented into liquids, and a cash register ringing up sales at an almost constant pace. The room was decorated in a mixture of black and green. The thick aroma of coffee beans and stale pastries hung in the air. Nearby, a customer finished at the cash register, and a new one was stepping forward. The clerk behind the counter happily greeted the new customer with, "Hello, and welcome to Starbucks Coffee. What can I get you?" Pinkie Pie sat with her head on the counter, eyes focused on the wood grains. About a week had gone by since the new Starbucks Coffee opened across the corner, and ever since business had dropped off at Sugarcube Corner. The normal morning rush dried up. It was only depressed her more. The morning rush was her favorite part of the day. She said good morning to the ponies, gave them their pastries and sweets, and bring a smile to their faces. The morning rush was also when Pinkie would ask ponies if anything big was happening in their lives. It was how she found out about birthdays, weddings, new ponies moving to town, and basically everything that was party-worthy. Without ponies coming in the mornings, she wouldn't know who needed to throw a party for. Thought that only ruined Pinkie Pie's mood further.
"What's so great about Starbucks anyway?"
Pinkie Pie asked herself. Then a familiar ringing reached her ears. Pinkie Pie snapped her head up with excited anticipation. Twilight Sparkle had just come in. I was walking towards the corner. Pinkie Pie bounced out from behind the corner.
"Oh, Twilight, I'm so glad to see you. You must be here for breakfast."
"I am," Twilight confirmed, though she quickly came to regret it. In a burrow of pink, she was scooped up by Pinkie Pie and placed at a table. The table then began to fill as Pinkie Pie sent around the bakery, grabbing up different foods and placing them in front of Twilight.
Great! We got everything you can want. We got bagels, muffins, scones, dinguses, donuts, cinnamon twists, cinnamon rolls, cookies, brownies, cakes, pies. All this fresh and feeling really good and ready for you.
This, looks so great, Pinkie, Twilight said. She craned her neck to look at the mountain of food that had been placed in front of her. But I just came by to get a muffin for myself and a donut for Spike. Pinkie's energy didn't diminish at all.
Oh, what kind of muffin do you want? And what about Spike's donut? I know he likes it with extra sprinkles. Oh, do you think you like a donut made out of sprinkles? Oh, if you just give me a minute, I'm sure I'll be able to whip it up.
Turning, Pinkie Pie came galloping towards the kitchen. She, however, didn't get far. Before she even got halfway across the room, she felt her hose lose contact with the ground. She was wrapped in a magical glow, and after looking back, she could see Twilight was the one to blame. Pinkie Pie, relax. Spike doesn't need a donut made of sprinkles, Twilight said, while keeping Pinkie Pie suspended in the air. She put all the food she had been brought back to where it belonged. She kept only a banana nut muffin and one sprinkle-laden donut, and she put down beside the cash register. I just need these two things.
Okay, Twilight,
Pinkie Pie said, just as happy to have some point buying something, even if it was just a muffin and a donut. Once she was released from Twilight's limitation, she moved behind the cash register, began ringing up the seal.
Sorry about that. It's just been so long since we had some point come in for breakfast.
Twilight placed the selected bits on the counter, more than enough to cover the cost of the muffin and donut. Oh, why's that?
It's that new coffee shop that opened around the corner, the Starbucks. Every pony's been going there in the mornings, and I just don't get it. At first, I just thought every pony was being nice and welcoming the new shop owner to town. But every morning, you keep lining up outside that shop to wait, and the pastries aren't even that good. They're all dry. It tastes like they're a day old.
Probably because they are, Twilight noted as Pinkie Pie put the bits in the cash register.
But why would they sell day-old pastries?
Because it's a coffee shop, Twilight explained. I read about it in the Canterlot newspaper. Starbucks is a franchise that's been popping up all over Equestria. It was started by a unicorn stallion named Starbuck, and it's a franchise that's become really popular with a lot of famous ponies. Now, because famous ponies get coffee from Starbucks as coffee, it's the popular thing to do. That, from what I've heard, they do have good coffee.
But then why don't ponies just buy coffee there to come here to buy their bagels, muffins, donuts, and statuses?
Because, Twilight interrupted, as he took a freshly bagged muffin and donut. It's all about convenience. They're already there at the shop buying coffee, so if they want a pastry, it makes sense to some points to just buy it at the same place.
Even if it's dry and bland?
Twilight shrugged before turning to leave. I guess so, but I wouldn't worry about it too much, Pinkie Pie. Starbucks is just a new place in town. Once ponies have gotten used to it being there, they'll start coming back to Sugarcube Corner. Pinkie Pie smiled and giggled.
Yeah, you're right. I just like it when I get a gummy a new toy. He'll play with it for a long time before he'll even consider going back to his old toys. But he always goes back sooner or later.
Twilight did turn and reached up to the door and smiled. Exactly. Just you wait. I bet in a few days ponies will be sick of that place. Twilight wore a frown on her face and stood outside Sugarcube Corner. Behind her, a line of ponies wrapped around the nearby corner and toward the Starbucks coffee shop. It had been a few weeks since the shop opened, and still ponies were going there reliably. That left Sugarcube Corner all but abandoned in the mornings, and business was down the rest of the day as well. Slipping inside, Twilight put on a smile for Mr. Cake, who was sweeping the floor, and Mrs. Cake, who was hanging up a sign advertising reduced prices.
Good morning.
Good morning, Twilight, Mrs. Cake said. She turned to try to give Twilight a welcoming smile, though it was obviously forced. What can we get you today? Twilight crossed the room so she could speak with Mrs. Cake. Sorry, I'm just here looking for Pinkie Pie. I'm going to try to cheer her up. She doesn't seem to her normal, cheerful self today. Mrs. Cake deflated a little. Well, that's awful, Twilight. Why? What happened? Mrs. Cake adjusted the news sign, advertising a discount on muffins, before turning to face Twilight. Mr. Cake and I were going over our books yesterday, and because of Starbucks, our sales are well down. If things don't change, we won't be able to afford to pay Pinkie Pie anymore. I thought Pinkie Pie worked for your room and board, Twilight noted. Yes, she does, and we never dream about putting Pinkie Pie out. It's just that we also give her some bits every week so she can buy some things, like toys for Gummy and her party supplies. Well, now because of the way business has been going, We may not be able to pay her those bits anymore. You aren't going to have to close down, are you? Twilight asked, concern ringing in her voice. Oh, now don't you worry about that. Things are just going to have to be tighter down here for a little while. Still, Mr. Cake, Pinkie Pie, and I will figure this out. And it's just Starbucks is just a passing fad anyway. Once it's blown over, we'll be back to business as usual. Mrs. Cake's forced smile didn't ease Twilight's concerns. The thought of losing the bakery was something that obviously crossed the two bakers' minds. I am so sorry. I wish there was something I could do. Maybe I could write to print. Twilight began, only for Pinkie Pie to burst through the door. She bounded across the room, knocked Twilight out of the way, and came just to a stop for a few inches in front of Mr. Cake.
Do we have any more flower pots?
Pinkie Pie asked. Not noticing he just slammed Twilight out of the way.
Well.
Mrs. Cake stuttered. Mary needed a moment to process Pinkie Pie's sudden appearance. There should be one in the cupboard, but what? Mrs. Cake questioned trailed off as Pinkie Pie sprinted into the kitchen and sprang out of the shop a second later. Twilight, who recovered from being knocked to the side, walked over beside Mrs. Cake. What was that all about? I haven't the foggiest idea. Oh my. Incoming! Twilight and Mrs. Cake stepped to the side just in time to avoid being bowled over by Pinkie Pie, who galloped back inside the shop, across the room into the front counter. There, she put down the flower pot from the kitchen, which now contained a plant. The plant was a tough-looking pod with flower petals, and around the edge, and a thick green little stem. Its leaves were a different, darker green, and had claw-like thorns.
Here you go, Sweet Tooth. Welcome to your new home.
Mrs. Cake and Twilight and Mr. Cake walked up behind Pinkie Pie and encircled the counter. Mrs. Cake was the first to speak. Pinkie Pie, what is that?
It's a plant.
Pinkie Pie chirped.
I think it may even be a flower. I can't be sure. Never seen one like it before.
And what's it for? Mr. Cake asked. He leaned in closer to inspect the plant's large central pod.
It's going to help ponies back to the shop,
Pinkie Pie answered. She tried to the kitchen. Twilight caught an eyebrow. And how's it supposed to do that?
Well,
Pinkie Pie began. She came trotting back from the kitchen with a watering can strapped to her bed.
I was walking around Ponyville this morning, trying to find out a way to make ponies realize they should come back to Sugarcube Corner. Then I started looking at what other shops did to get customers in. Ponies go to Starbucks because famous ponies go there. But ponies also go to shops for other reasons. They'll go to a store if it's the only place they can get what they want. Like I go to the junk shop in town because it's the only junk shop we have. Ponies will also go to a shop if it's having a sale. But we've already tried putting things on sale and that didn't work.
Twilight gave the plant a gentle poke. And how's this supposed to work when you couldn't get ponies in with a sale?
Sweet Tooth is going to bring ponies into the shop because it's something no pony's ever seen before. Does he remember those orange farmers came to town and brought with them those really huge oranges as big as a pony's head?
Twilight rinsed in memory. I do remember. Applejack kept coming out of the library the whole week to complain that those orange farmers were stealing business from her family's market stand. She even asked me if I had any books about growing gigantic fruit. That way she could sell ponies who the real farmers were and steal back the business the orange farmers had taken from her.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, you do a very bad Applejack voice.
Pinkie Pie chirped.
Ponies went to the orange stand to sell the Applejack stand because of that really strange, huge fruit. Now ponies will want to come in and see their sweet little tooth here, and that will help bring in customers.
So I picked the plant up with her magic, turned around and stared it close. I'll admit, it's a strange plant. I know I haven't seen anything like this in any of my books. Where did you even find this?
Well, do you remember when I left this morning because Mrs. Cake didn't want me pacing around the kitchen anymore?
Pinkie Pie asked. No, I wasn't here, but I pretend I do. That I do? Twilight, Mrs. Cake, and Mr. Cake jumped. From behind the corner, Lily, Rosalike, and Daisy appeared, singing da-do-do, while Pinkie, however, was unfazed by the trio's sudden appearance, and continued to tell her story. I was walking down the street today, shoot-da-doo, when I passed by the garden with lots of flowers in it. Pinkie Pie continued, her eyes lighting up at the memory of the many colorful buds. Bloom-da-doo. Pinkie Pie leaned into the plant she had just bought in the shop. I decided to stop and smell those flowers. Sniff-da-doo. 'Cause, flowers will smell really nice and make me smile. Da-da-da-doo. A frown formed on Pinkie Pie's face, but it couldn't make me feel better today. Nope, da-doo. So, I was just about to turn and walk away. poor old you.
But suddenly, without warning, my tail started to twist. Twist it did. I looked around, trying to see what was falling, but then I heard a thunk, and my tail stopped. That's when I turned around and saw this little plant sitting there. Whoopsie-doo. Poor little thing was just laying there, looking all sad and lonely. Little sweet tooth. I was there. Sure, I hadn't seen it there before. It wasn't planted in the ground or anything. I'd never seen a plant like it before, so I decided to bring it back here. Sha-la-la-la-la.
At that, Lily, rose like a daisy, disappeared behind the counter. Much to Twilight, Mrs. Cake, and Mr. Cake's confusion. Impromptu songs were an uncommon thing in Equestria, and it wasn't the first time he'd seen Pinkie Pie break into song with little provocation. It was, however, the first time they'd seen those three acting like backup singers.
Wait, are you saying this plant just fell out of the sky?
Twilight asked. She craned her neck to look behind the counter, trying to find Lily, rose like a daisy. The three flower-themed mares, however, were nowhere to be seen.
Pinkie Pie shrugged. I don't know, maybe. Oh, maybe a dragon was carrying it?
Twilight turned her head to one side, trying to understand Pinkie Pie's logic. Why would a dragon worry about something so small as this?
What? Can't dragons have potted houseplants too?
Twilight placed a forehook against the ridge of her nose and shook her head. Pinkie Pie, dragons don't have houses. They have treasure hoards, caves, not houses.
Well, a dragon could still have a sweet tooth.
Why are you calling it sweet tooth? Mr. Cake asked. If only to keep Twilight from continuing her efforts to explain to Pinkie Pie why a dragon wouldn't have a houseplant.
Because I'm hoping this little guy will bring back everybody's sweet tea for Sugarcube Corner's baked goods,
Pinkie Pie answered. That's very nice, dear. She placed her hoof on Pinkie Pie's shoulder. It's a very nice plant, but I don't think it's going to bring in customers. I mean, it's just... Wow, where did you get that? Everybody turned to the front door of the Sugarcube Corner. There, one of the stallions who had been standing in line for Starbucks came trotting over to the plant. Looking over with sighs and grin. I've never seen anything like it before. What's it called?
It's called sweet tooth, Pinkie Pie happily answered. And I think it's a totally undiscovered species of plant.
The stallion gave a pressed nod. It certainly doesn't look like anything I've seen before, and... The stallion paused to sniff his nose and sniff at the air. Are those cinnamon rolls I smell? Oh, yes, of course. They're fresh out of the oven, Mrs. Cake said, quickly jumping into the conversation. Perhaps you'd like to have one? I think I would. The stallion said with a smile. He followed Mrs. Cake over to the cash register, while Twilight and Mr. Cake stared in disbelief. The stunned parrot had turned to Pinkie Pie, who was grinning proudly and patting the plant. Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, boy, Sweet Tooth. We'll sell those mean ponies at Starbucks that they can't take our customers away with cheap dry muffins.
Mr. Cake wore a huge smile on his face as he looked at the packed storefront of Sugarcube Corner. Somehow, someway, Pinkie Pie's random thought to put a single strange plant in the shop window to draw in customers was working. Ponies were slipping inside specifically just to see the plant, and then were often enticed by the sight and smell of freshly baked pastries to make a purchase. Even if a pony didn't buy anything, simply having such traffic in the shop was helping Sugarcube Corner combat against the popularity of Starbucks. Can I get a dozen cinnamon rolls? One customer asked as he approached the register. Mr. Cake flashed a big smile. Of course, I'll get that boxed up for you. Can you have a dozen double chocolate cookies as well? Gladly. I'll just need a few minutes, Mr. Cake said, before turning his head to shout in the kitchen. Honey bun! Mr. Cake called out. We need more cookies, double chocolate chip. They'll be right out. Pinkie Pie and I will work as fast as we can. Mrs. Cake called back from the kitchen. Every oven was in use. The sink was piled high with dirty dishes, and the counters were covered in flour. But neither Pinkie Pie nor Mrs. Cake had stopped to clean. They were working as fast as their hose would allow, and let them just barely keep up with demand for sweet pastries. Oh, Pinkie Pie, you better take those brownies out of the oven. Pinkie Pie put a hoof to a foreign slit.
You got it, Mr. Cake.
She danced over and took it to muff them in her mouth. She quickly drew out the brownies and set them on the cooling rack. Then she took the next batch of sweets and the double chocolate chip cookies Mr. Cake needed, putting them into the laying oven.
Dear, just a few more minutes and we'll have another fresh batch of cookies.
Pinkie Pie said with a bounce.
Oh, this is so amazing. We've never been this busy before.
Mrs. Cake and on. Yes, I did think. It's all because of your little plant. Oh, just right. We may be able to make the audition we've been planning. Pinkie Pie's eyes lit up.
The ice cream freezer edition?
Yes. And Mrs. Cake said, just as excited.
Oh, fine.
Pinkie Pie teared as he began to bounce around.
If we add that big ice cream freezer, then we can sell ice cream and ice cream cake and ice cream sandwiches and hot fudge sundaes and...
Yes, Pinkie Pie, Mrs. Cake interrupted. We'll be able to sell all those things. But we gotta make the cookies first. Now, come on. There's a lot of hungry ponies out there just looking at your plant, and the plant's dying! Mr. Cake squeezed through the sweet door, carrying the pot with Sweet Tooth on his back. He turned to skin to a stop, causing Sweet Tooth to slide off his back and land on the counter. Pinkie Pie, Mrs. Cake quickly circled in, looking over to the sleepy-looking Sweet Tooth. Lost a couple of his leaves, and its stem had wilted to the point that the pot of his Sarah's blossom was resting against the side of the flower pot. Customers are already leaving to get back in line for Starbucks, Mr. Cake said. What do we do? I'll tell you what we're going to do, Mrs. Cake said. You're going to take this plant back out there, but keep it next to the register. Let's at least keep customers we have from leaving. I'll stay back here and keep baking whatever we need.
What about me?
Pinkie Pie asked. You go to your friend Twilight and ask her for every book on plants and gardening you can find. We cannot let this plant die. It's the only thing gonna make us compete with Starbucks. Or we can't lose it now.
Don't you worry, Mrs. Cake. Twilight's the smartest pony I know. With her help, we'll be able to find out just what Sweet Tooth needs to feel better.
Twilight stared intently at the sickly plant sitting in front of her. Next to it, a book on home plant care was open. Next to that was another book on herbology and plant identification. The table was also littered with a number of gardening tools, some bags of soil with different textures, and even a sun lamp. Pinkie Pie watched anxiously from the side. Hey, Pinkie, you know, Applejack raises trees, so, his parents were in the empty front Sugarcube Corner. The shop had been closed for a few hours, and ever since she had arrived, Twilight was trying to apply her impressive skills of reading and magic to try and make Sweet Tooth healthy again. The plant, however, was either sicker than anybody realized, or was being stubborn, for it refused to improve. Twilight tossed her head in frustration and flipped through the pages in her book. This doesn't make any sense. For the analysis I did on one of the leaves that fell off, there should be ideal conditions. Mossy wet soil with a moderate plant food content. I turned the leaves back to appropriate lengths, and even supported the stem with a small dowel and yarn. What else do you want? Twilight slammed her forearms on the table and began to guard the plant down. Why won't you grow? Her shout became punctuated by a snarl snap as another leaf flung off the sickly plant. Great, her teeth were raised. Twilight stormed away from the table towards the door.
Twilight, where are you going?
Pinkie Pie asked. I'm going to get another book for the library. Overgrowth's Guide to Stubborn Plants, Twilight explained. She stopped at the front door and looked back at Pinkie. It's mostly about getting rid of weeds, but maybe it can tell us what we're doing wrong.
But what should I do with Sweet Tooth until you get back?
Twilight took a step back and stepped out of the shop into the early evening air. Just try and keep it from losing any more leaves. Well, that Twilight was gone, striding down the street towards the Ponyville library. Pinkie Pie watched her friend through the shop's windows until she fell out of sight before turning to look at Sweet Tooth. She walked over to her sickly little plant, a small frown on her face.
Oh, poor Sweet Tooth. I wish I could make you feel better.
Pinkie Pie said as he looked over to books, tools, and different soils Twilight looked out.
But I really don't know much about taking care of plants. I'd like to know how to make ponies feel better.
Pinkie Pie's frown turned into a small smile as he bounced happily.
Yeah, there's an idea. Maybe I can try to cheer you up like I cheer up ponies. Oh, I know just the place to start.
Pinkie Pie galloped upstairs to her room and returned moments later with a box. She set that box right next to Sweet Tooth.
Are you ready?
Pinkie Pie asked, even though she knew Sweet Tooth couldn't respond. She gave the plant a chance anyway, before she threw open the box. Streamers, confetti, and balloons erupted out from the box, along with the sound of several noisemakers. It was something that always made Pinkie Pie smile, since it was like the explosion of a party. Sweet Tooth, however, didn't show any sign of improvement. Finding a bed at her failed attempt, Pinkie Pie ran back to her bedroom and soon returned with a record player. After trying to crank a few times, the player began belting out tearful music, and Pinkie Pie began to dance along to it.
Keep on dancing! Does dancing make you feel better, Sweet Tooth?
Pinkie Pie picked up her pie friend and began twirling around with it. She laughed, giggled, and sang along with the song, despite the fact that it didn't have any words. Still, even after a few minutes of dancing, Sweet Tooth didn't look any better. Seeing this, Pinkie Pie ended her dancing and went straight into her next idea. She ran back upstairs and came down a few moments later with Pin to Tail and the pony game. She hung the poster on the wall, flung the blindfold to Sweet Tooth's pot, and set the paper tail in its leaves. Then carried Sweet Tooth over to the poster and helped the plant pin the paper ponytail right onto the target.
Woo! There you go, Sweet Tooth! You picked the tail of the pony! You must be feeling better now!
Sweet Tooth didn't look any better. Pinkie was troubled, deciding if her little plant did, in fact, look worse. Since her playing games idea lost, she put Sweet Tooth back down by Twilight's books and took the blindfold off the pot.
Okay, what else makes ponies happy? I can tell you a party, but I need invitations, guest balloons, and streamers. I just can't get all that set up before Twilight gets back with her other book.
Pinkie Pie furrowed her eyebrows and tapped the sides of her head.
Oh, what can I do?
Huffing, Pinkie Pie walked away from Sweet Tooth in the direction of the kitchen.
Maybe a snack will give me an idea.
After rummaging in the kitchen for a few moments, Pinkie Pie came back balancing a cookie jar on her back. It was the leftover jar, where Mr. and Mrs. Cake switched some of the leftover cookies that were too old to sell for customers. They were always a bit stale, but no pony could beat free cookies.
Dang straight!
Ruby, how did you even... Where did you even... I thought I had that door locked up!
Yeah, but Crescent Rose said, looked at your locks and said no.
Oh, my poor door. I worked so hard on fixing the door to the studio. Trixie?
Yes?
We got a budget for a steel door, don't we?
Yes.
Good. We're gonna need it.
Right.
Setting the jar down beside Sweet Tooth, Pinkie Pie stuck her nose inside and withdrew her cookie. Then she gave her head a toss, sending the cookie high into the air. She watched the cookie flip and turn, positioning itself right beneath it before opening her mouth wide and letting the whole cookie fall into her wagging tongue. No! Pinkie Pie said through her full mouth, a few cookie crumbs spilling out. What can I do to make you happy, Sweet Tooth? Instead, Pinkie Pie took notice that Sweet Tooth was moving. Her little plant was raising a little petal-lined pod, and for a moment she dared to believe it was coming back to life. Then she saw it was tilting its pod in the direction of the cookie jar. Its pod even opened up, revealing somewhat a moist interior that looked like something like a mouth. Look, I have to do this at least once, otherwise I don't feel like I'm going to give you the full satisfaction of doing a little Pet Shop of Horrors parody. Feed me! Thank you. Pinkie Pie glanced back and forth between Sweet Tooth and the cookie jar for a moment. Once again, she continued to try and reach it. Then, on a curious whim, Pinkie Pie retrieved another cookie from the jar. While she bounced that cookie on her hoof, she waited around for a Sweet Tooth. The plant bent its stem to allow the cookie and its little pod and mouth wide open. Pinkie Pie smiled. It's her hoof closer to Sweet Tooth. Once he was just close enough, Sweet Tooth bit down the cookie and took it out of her hoof. The little plant then worked to scarf down its sugary treat, which was just as large as it was. As it ate, its legs began to stand up straight again. Its roots became fluid and full of life. Pinkie Pie couldn't contain her excitement. She quickly fenced another cookie out of the jar and fed it to Sweet Tooth. He chopped the cookie down. It does as greedily at first. Pinkie Pie ran only wide.
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun! You eat cookies just like me! Oh, I got to go and tell Twilight!
Bouncing happily, Pinkie Pie left the shop to seize down Twilight and tell her the good news. In her wake, she left Sweet Tooth resting beside the open jar of cookies. Its plant munching down the last crumbs of its ticket treat. Began looking up the crumbs that spilled out of the side of his pot and leaves. Was going to leave a single morsel of cookie uneaten. Still, even then Sweet Tooth was not satisfied. Was unable to find any more crumbs. It turned its pod into the right side of the unattended cookie jar. It looked around, and craned its stem so it could look out the window. Once it was sure Pinkie Pie wasn't going to return too quickly, the seam of its food pod turned up a tiny smile. With a grunt of effort, Sweet Tooth began to strain itself, using its sweets to fuel its growth. Its stem and body turned bulk, and fresh leaves sprouted for the old ones had broken off. Span a few short minutes, Sweet Tooth grew substantially, and now stood at equal height to the neighboring cookie jar. And then you go down to Skid Row. Sorry, this is one of my favorite horror movie musicals.